Hey there, BookTube. What's up? My name is Juan. I'm just one reader, and I'm here for a short, quick, fun, little weird video. I'm gonna take you on a tour of my personal library. So I'm gonna just take you around the different parts of my house where I keep all of my books. You will get to see some books that I have read, and most importantly, some books that I haven't read. You will see that my TBR is there are no words for the feeling of dread that I have in regards to my TBR. I honestly feel like I have enough books to read from here until the day I die. But that's okay. Let's calm ourselves. Okay, so without any further ado, this is my personal library. Hope you enjoy. Okay, so starting in here, this is my current bedroom. And in here, I keep a mix of psychoanalytical books and also part of my TBR. And also at the top of the pyramid, I keep my personal favorites from last year, 2016. So I'm just going to show you around. I'm not going to show you everything because you'll get bored. So in here I have a lot of books on Freud himself and the history of the psychoanalytical movement. In here and in here, these are Sigmund Freud's complete works. The man was quite the prolific writer, so yeah. Then here is more contemporary modern psychoanalysis, which is pretty much what I do. Here, this is also psychoanalysis, but I'm actually going to show you these. These are books that combine psychoanalysis and literature. So this is Psychoanalysis and Storytelling by Peter Brooks. This is Beyond Historic Materials, Innocence and Experience in the Fiction of Philip Pullman. Philip Pullman is an author whose literature suits psychoanalysis very well. It gives us psychoanalysts a lot to talk about. So I have a lot on his work. This is more psychoanalysis over here, more psychoanalysis, modern psychoanalysis over there. And then everything else is TBR, so you will recognize probably many books that I've hauled, many books that you have seen on BookTube, The Interestings, Infinite Home, Radiance, there's a lot. Then on the top there's more, and there you can see my most intimidating book ever, The Luminaries. I don't know if I'll ever read it. Brandon Sanderson over here, Robin Hobb. Oh man, Fates and Furies, I really want to read that. And Bone Clocks by David Mitchell. I always say I'm going to read that book and I never do. There is more TBR. That cover, Smoke by Dan Valletta, it's stunning. Then over here, more TBR, and there you can see City on Fire by, what's his name, Garth Risk Hallberg, which is another really intimidating book, but I think I'm going to like it. Then outside from my bedroom, we step onto this landing, and in here we have two sets of floating bookshelves, which I really enjoy because you get to decorate a little bit the landing. I guess maybe there's more space here that I could use, but so far I've only got two sets, and in here is where I keep some of my favorite books. These are all books that I've already read, so this is like my read pile. And some of this I've read recently, some of these I read as a child and I've never picked them back up. For example, in here you can see from, Patrick Rothfuss, Neil Gaiman, The Chronicles of Narnia, Series of Unfortunate Events, Carlos Ruiz Zafón, The Shadow of the Wind. Up in here, there's different things, Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell, The Goldfinch in Spanish. I don't know what else you can recognize over there. Those white ones on the left, those are Stephen King's. Stephen King is a very prolific writer, and I try to read at least one Stephen King book a year. And then let me take you there, because in here, these are my Philip Pullman books, and then over here is my Harry Potter standard collection. This is my standard set, and by standard I mean that these are the books that I typically read whenever I read Harry Potter. So the American editions and the Spanish editions over here, And then, of course, as a decoration, the Hogwarts houses bookmarks. And then we go upstairs. Oops, sorry for that. We go upstairs into the upper landing, and I have one bookcase in here and another one in here. Now in this one, I have a mix of middle grade, young adult. You will recognize John Green over here, Fangirl, Patrick and S, The Edge Chronicles, which by the way I haven't read, probably never will. What else? J.K. Rowling, Career of Evil, Casual Vacancy, Tolkien. And then in this bookcase, this is where it gets really special because these are my special and rare editions. So we go from Tolkien. These editions are so beautiful. I'm actually going to show you one. Whoops. These are just amazing. These are, of course, illustrated. Let me show you an illustration. Well, I only have one hand, so sorry. But yeah, these are really beautiful editions of The Lord of the Rings, which I'm not a fan of, but these editions are so freaking beautiful that they make me want to reread it, which I probably will very soon. The complete and annotated Sherlock Holmes, and then we have my Harry Potter special editions. These are in different languages, and I've collected them from all around the world, different places that I've been. There's the illustrated editions, special editions in English. I've got plenty. These are in English. This one is in Latin. Harry Potter et Philosophy Lapis. That's in Latin. This one is ancient Greek. This is the original one in English. This one is really cool. This is in Czech. I got it from Prague. These are both in German, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, German. Philosopher's Stone and Chamber of Secrets. And I've also got the fourth one, Goblet of Fire, in German as well. These are French editions, Goblet of Fire, the British editions. There's two versions of every book because there's an adult and a children's version of every novel. This one is the seventh one, French. This one is really special. This one I got from Israel like 10 years ago. And this is in Hebrew. Obviously, it's Half-Blood Prince. And if you didn't know, this is how you read Hebrew. You start from the back of the book and you start reading from here, from right to left. So that's really cool. And what else do I have here? Harry Potter. These are the deluxe editions, which come with special illustrations by Mary Grandpré. This is the Italian, more French, and so on and so on and so on. And then this one is probably my most beautiful book that I own, which is the Everyman's Library edition of Phil Pullman's His Dark Materials. This is a bind-up of the entire trilogy. There are no illustrations at all, and the font is so tiny and the paper is like, it's such a compact book that I really doubt I will ever read this book, really. But it's just the most incredible object. It's like a very formal book, but it's just absolutely beautiful. It's the most elegant book that I own, and it's my treasure. And last but not least, definitely not least, we go downstairs to the ground floor. And here's where I keep the majority of my books. And if you were wondering, most of these have not been read. So this bookshelves, this, and this, completely unread. Haven't read a single one. And then over here, on this desk, I have also TBR. Yeah, these are unread. And these are books that I've recently bought. But before I show you those, this one is also a combination of middle grade, YA. You will see a lot of fantasy, adventure. You can see the Percy Jackson books over there, the Girl Who Circumnavigated Fairyland over there, the Bartimaeus trilogy. Those I have read. The Neverending Story. I have read a few of these. Then here on the bottom, oh, classics, which, you know, of course I haven't read them because I'm a very lousy reader when it comes to classics. But I have a couple that I really have my eye on. I really want to read Dorian Gray. I think I might love that. I have some Latin American classics like Cortázar over there, Jane Eyre, which I haven't read, come on, Wuthering Heights, Jane Austen. Then over here, over at this bookshelf, I have short story collections, which I have a lot of. Every genre, really. Most of them are the type of short story collections that you would see from like Mercedes over at Mercedes Bookish Musings, or you know, that kind of magical realism, fabulist. I have George Saunders over there, George Saunders. P.G. Wodehouse, which I haven't read, but I'm really looking forward to that. Kelly Link, Stephen King. I just have a lot of different short story collections. And then over in this shelf, whoa, over here, I have a random mix of nonfiction, fiction. You will see Neil Gaiman on the left. I don't know. It would be impossible to show you every single book. I have here a stack of Polonic, Stephen King, The Dark Tower, which they're making a movie based on The Dark Tower. So I might have to read at least the first 2 or 3 in order to see the movie. Then over here, these books I actually have read, most of these, which is nothing compared to everything else I haven't read. But hey, it's something. And you will see in here some Murakami, Alice Smith, Dan Brown, Pullman, Stephen King, Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. Should I get rid of that? I don't know, because, you know, it's kind of an important book. I mean, I hated it, but should I get rid of that? I don't know. Then these are the books that I've read so far this year, which is such a small stack in comparison. But oh well. And then these are my recent purchases, my most recent purchases. So you will recognize, I bet, some of them. And I will be doing a book haul probably in about 2 weeks. I just need some books to come in the mail. But when they do come, I will prepare a book haul that's going to be probably around 15 books. So I already have a huge TBR, as you can see. Pretty much this, all of this, and the books that I have upstairs in my bedroom. So thankfully, I have no idea of what's the actual number of my TBR, but I'm guessing it's roughly around from 600 to 750 or so, which is crazy, of course, but you know, it's doable in a lifetime, probably. So yeah, that's it. That was my video for today. I hope you enjoyed it. I will bring you the book haul when I get it, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.